Hey everybody, how you all doing? I hope everyone is doing great. I would just put a poll up, so I was busy over there typing that up. So yeah, it's great to be back here. I'm back from World of Concrete from a couple weeks ago, and that's kept me busy. I still have a few more videos from there that I'm going to have out for you guys. So far I've had Milwaukee, Cat Diamond Tools, and DeWalt. So those are some videos that you can check out if you want to see some of the new tools from all of them. And I need just a quick second to open up my chat window here. Sorry, it's been not sure how long it's been since I've gone live. So I'm just getting a few things organized. So let's see, let me get my chat window. All right, so right away, Jeremy, he says, how are you? I'm doing well. How you doing, Jeremy? Thank you for stopping by. And I think tonight's going to be probably a little shorter because we had all those tool news from World of Concrete. So there's just a few things now starting to roll out. I think the tool companies were not as busy over the holidays, and now that we're into the new year, then they're starting up. So we're going to start seeing more tools rolling out, I'm sure, pretty soon. So I haven't seen anything from Ryobi and Rigid yet since the new year, so I'm sure there's going to be some new ones coming out soon. And then I also have a few other things that are going to be making some videos for them, things I didn't get around to reviewing yet, that you can stay tuned for that. Jeremy says he's doing good, so yep, glad to hear it. Let's see. Cole says, hey Mark, how's it going? I have all the Milwaukee cordless tools and pack outs. I have a woodworking hobby and a small engine hobby. Hope you're well. Well, that's cool. I don't do a lot. I mean, I do a fair amount with automotive, but the automotive tools that I have for them, I just really like. That Insider Reach ratchet is kind of like my go-to. I think I can use that about 80% of the time. It's very nice. Jeremy says, I heard the groundskeepers at the golf courses using a Vermeer wood chipper. So the 10, let's see, that's, the 1000 XL. I can't remember what size that I featured. I think I put a short video out on that. There was something that I was helping out with doing some wood chipping. And Vermeer, the one we had is a diesel engine, and it is just a beast. I can't remember like what size if it went up to like 10-inch in diameter, something like that, 12-inch, something like that. It just, whatever we threw at it, it just kept going. It hardly like ever, you had to, never really, like some smaller ones you have to shut down, and then you'd have to, when it get jammed quite a bit. This one would just never get jammed. I'm really impressed with the Vermeer brand. All right, so let's see. How about we just get into the new tool news, and let me go to the next page. So go there. All right, so let's see. So we have a little bit from Echo, Milwaukee, and Yarbo. Yarbo, I'm going to just go to that here real quick. So I featured the robotic snowblower on my channel. Well, actually, sorry, forgot the lineup that I have. So yeah, the first one we're going to talk about right here, this is from Echo. So I have a video from them coming out very soon. So right back here is the actual saw right here. This just was launched in Home Depot, or it was last fall, but it was rolling out in like Home Depot stores and dealers like about 2 weeks ago. So this is really one of the first-hand looks at the new Echo saw. And I'll just look at some of the specs over here. So it has a 6-inch bar with an 80 TXL chain. And one thing I noticed that you'll see in my video, it doesn't have that chatter. It's a nice smooth cut. So you can see it says a reduced vibration. It has this chain guard right up here. So that's something that's new to me. I'm used to having just the bar like that. I'm pretty sure if you didn't like it, you could take it off. Looks like one screw is holding it in place. But what I've noticed using this, that this, as you're cutting, this just lifts up. It really doesn't get in your way. There might be some times where you want to cut underneath, but for the most part, the majority of the cuts are going straight down. So I've been very happy with this. Another nice thing that has the automatic oiler on there. Some of the smaller, they call them baby chainsaws or mini chainsaws, some don't have that, and you have to like drop your own oil in periodically to keep the chain lubed. So it's nice having that. It has a toolless chain tensioner, so there's really no tools that you need. That's what I like about this. So to add the bar oil, you just lift that tab and loosen it. And then over here to tighten the chain, if you can see this, you just unscrew that, and the outer ring, that orange ring, that goes either direction, and that will tighten the chain. So that's pretty awesome. And then down below you see it has that quick draw hook, so you can put that on your belt. And then they didn't point this out, but in the back right here, there's a loop for a lanyard. So I have a video coming out on this probably this weekend, and you can see how many cuts I'll get, or well, you'll see how it does. I don't want to spoil too much for you, so that video will be out pretty soon. Let's see. Cole says we have a price and release window on the new. Oh, do we have a price and release window on the new rolling drawer pack out box? Yeah, I don't know any information on that one yet. I did see that when I was at the pipeline event last summer. It's pretty awesome, but so far I haven't had any news on that yet. But we'll probably be getting more Milwaukee news on this Monday, so maybe they'll have that being announced very soon. I've seen other people asking about that. Jeremy, you're wondering the difference between a regular chainsaw and a mini chainsaw. So this mini chainsaw is really designed for two hands. I mean, it looks like you could use it with one hand, but I know like the legal department with some of the tool companies, when I'm demonstrating it, when it has this bump up here, they're going to want you to hold it with two hands when I'm using it. But I'd say for the most part, a mini chainsaw would allow for like single hand operation. And then they're probably going to be like a 4 or 6 inch bar. That's probably the mini size. And it's typically battery powered. So I'd say that's the main difference. All right, let's see what else. Okay, so this I want to mention about Yarbo. They've been on my channel. I don't know if you guys have seen my Yarbo snowblower. So it's an automated robotic snowblower. So when I was at World of Concrete a few weeks ago, this is a picture of me on my balcony. You can see the desert and the mountains there behind me. So I'm 2,000 miles away from Michigan, and my son Logan was at home, and we were talking over the speakerphone, and I was recording. So if you haven't seen my YouTube short yet, it's pretty awesome. And what I'm demonstrating is you can, with the app in my hand over here, I can control the Yarbo robotic snowblower or even the mower in the spring. I have a adapter part for the front attachment. So if I want to come home to a plow driveway, I could look through the cameras on the Yarbo itself through my app. And then I can also look as it's working, and I can see like what type of progress it's making. It's pretty awesome, the technology that I can be 2,000 miles away and I can control that in my yard. I think it's pretty awesome. Jeremy's asking, is that a golf course in the background? That's actually a Top Golf. It's right outside, and I stayed at this place 2 years in a row now. My wife's not really a golfer, so at some point we want to go golfing with other members of my family, like my boys, but we thought we would save Top Golf for another time. I know it's quite expensive, and we'd probably get more out of it with my boys, who are probably a little more competitive. So, but it looks like a lot of fun. I don't know. Have you ever been to any of you guys ever been to a Top Golf? I'm curious how much it might cost to do that, and if you've done it, how fun it is. I'm sure it's a lot of fun, but they looked like they're very busy when I was there. All right, so now let's go on to Milwaukee. So they had a couple of new tools that they announced this week. So this is they actually have two different M18 pole articulating hedge trimmers. So one is 87-inch overall, and the other one's the extended version. So it's 108 inches overall. So here's the price of the two: $499 the bare tool of the shorter one. The longer one's $529, and they both have the same specs here as far as the blade length, the 1-inch blade gap. So one thing that's really cool about this one that's different than their Gen 1 version, it has a rotating handle when you're holding it right there. And then you can articulate the cutting head to 270 degrees. It has 13 different like positive stop positions in it, 13 different ones. So you can always find something at a different angle. So if you're cutting up above or you're trying to cut weeds down below, it can do all those things. It's an awesome tool. And if you're concerned about gas versus battery powered, this is the one tool where battery power really shines. It gets a lot of runtime. It doesn't take as much power as you might think to power a hedge trimmer like this. So you can really go all day on a battery. Cole says, really hope the Milwaukee M12 systems stay around for a long time. Hopefully in 2030, we won't have to be buying new tools just because of a new battery platform. Yeah, they've had some of their batteries right now for quite a long time. I know they would probably get a lot of flack every time they change, and I know other brands have done that, and that's definitely an issue. I think the tool company that's been around the longest is Ryobi with their stem style pack. That one, they used to make tools that were more like a blue color, and I don't know, like probably early 2000s. I'm just guessing. I have to look it up to tell you for sure, but that platform hasn't changed. And I know that's one thing people really like. They have so many tools on their platform, and they have kept that same battery for all those years. So, okay, let's get back to the Milwaukee hedge trimmer right here. So the weight of the tool, this is the shorter version, 12 pounds. It's a little under, it's not quite a pound more for the longer version, and it has a 3-year warranty on it. And then with Milwaukee, they also have a M18 Fuel edger. So this one's $349 for the bare tool. So if you guys are doing lawn care and landscaping, I'm curious like how much you like the stick edger. For me, this is probably like my favorite tool, because I know a lot of landscapers, they'll use the line trimmer or the weed whip and put it over their shoulder upside down, but I have really never been able to perfect that. That's been one of the challenges for me. But if you get a stick edger, you can just hit the ground running and you get really perfect, nice, clean, sharp lines. It doesn't really take much practice at all. I'm definitely a fan of that. So with this right here, this has an 8-inch blade. You can just see the RPM up to 5,200. I have another version of this, the older version, and it just powers through like all different types of like dry clay that I have out here. And some of the other brands I've tested will bog down. This one will just power through. And that was the older version. And this being the newer version, it definitely will have a lot of power. Oh, you know, I should end that. I should go over here to that poll a minute. Kind of busy looking at my other screen. Let's see. Where is it? All right. So far we have 67% for Milwaukee and 33% for Bosch. So yeah, speaking of Bosch, I may not have mentioned this yet, but I do have a video with all the new Bosch tools from World of Concrete coming out soon. I'm halfway through editing that video, so that's just kind of a sneak peek of what's you're going to see next, probably this weekend. Okay, so this is something also new from Milwaukee. They just announced this on Monday as well. This will be available in April 2025. Some new subcompact drill and driver, the M12 version. So let's start off looking at the drill driver. Both tools are 119 for the bare tool. This one has 350 inch-pounds of torque, up to 1550 RPM. The tool length, 5.4 inches. And one thing that they have mentioned, let's see, I'm gonna grab this real quick. So one thing that they mentioned is the weight. This is an older version, and this thing is so handy and very powerful. So I'm definitely happy with this M12 impact. So it's going to be up to a half-pound lighter than the competition. Yeah, half-pound lighter and up to 1 inch shorter than the competition. So this can really, the new one will be able to really get into some tight spaces. If you need to get any more tight spaces, this is the tool that they've had for quite a while. It's the installation drill driver, the M12. So I just put this adapter on here so you can just see if you need to, a 90-degree turn. I was just using this a couple weeks ago on a project where I needed to get into somewhere tight, and this right here is so handy to have. I don't use it that often, but when I run into those situations, I definitely recommend this. All right, let's see. Jeremy has a question. Let me get a drink real quick. All right, that tab got, okay. He is wondering how loud is a battery edger versus a gas? The battery is quite a bit quieter. It's probably at that point, like with the gas one, you definitely want to have hearing protection. With battery, it's still a little bit loud, but you're probably at that point where it's not so loud that you'd want to, or that you would need hearing protection. I still, every time I'm outside working, just to keep stuff from flying, like hit me in the ears or anything, I also like listening to music or sports. So I always have these 3M work tunes on my head. So it's definitely going to be quieter. All right, excuse me. All right, let's see what else. Oh yeah, so yeah, I'm not sure. Did I go that one? I know I showed you. I can't remember. Did I show you this one? This is the subcompact impact, quarter-inch impact. So like I mentioned, they're both the same price, 119. This one has 1,100 inch-pounds of torque, up to 3,000 RPMs, 4,100 impacts per minute. And you can just see the tool weight with the battery, 1.7 pounds. So it's just amazing how much power you get from the M12. At first, I was skeptical, but now I probably use more M12s than M18s mostly and the type of work that I do. They're just very handy. When it comes to running bigger saws for like ripping lumber or a compound miter saw, then yeah, for sure, the M18. But for some of the things like this, the M12, they're powerful. And probably my most impressed item from Milwaukee in the M12 is their, let's see, it's their M12 hammer drill. It's just amazing. I think I run the XC40 battery, and it just powers through concrete when I'm having to install anchors. It really does a great job. All right, so I want to just go over to the next one. This isn't anything new, but this is, I was excited when I was at World of Concrete to run into Stealthmounts. So right over here, I didn't really do a lot of research before I went to see like how many different vendors were going to be there. They're right behind that yellow tent right there is Stealthmounts. Excuse me a second. Yeah, I may have mentioned I was trying to get over a cold from, maybe I didn't mention it. After World of Concrete, I was a little bit sick with a cold for a bit, and I just have a little bit of a cough now, but pretty much over it. But I'm still dealing with a few of the effects from that. So I just want to point out real quick from Stealthmounts, I just have, let me go over here. All right, so I'm gonna bring some stealth. Yeah, I'm gonna move this over here. I'm gonna bring some stealth mounts to the channel. So inside this box right here, I have all kinds of really cool stuff. Right here, mounting clips for a level, and then yeah, just different tool mounts right here. This goes on the on your wall. All kinds of different things. They sell these at Lowe's, Amazon, Ace Hardware. You may have to go online to get some of them. A lot of really cool things. So I wonder if you guys, question to you, have you guys ever tried stealth mounts, or do you know of any? So they make them for all the different brands. So this box right here is for all Milwaukee stuff. That's probably the majority of the tools that I own. So you're going to see a video pretty soon in my shop here, and then my interview while I was at World of Concrete. So, you know, wonder if anyone has tried it. Probably a little quiet in the chat right now. Oh, Jeremy said, oh, what stealth mounts? So they are a company in the UK, excuse me, in the UK, and they have kind of streamlined shop organization. So if you own a 3D printer, a lot of people in the last couple of years have been printing different things to like work with their different systems, like the pack out system. They've designed their own thing. Milwaukee has launched some of their own accessories like this, but now, like for instance, well, they have some like cup holders, things like that, the Milwaukee, but stealth mounts, they have really like gone into a deep dive making different things. So like if I want to hang my level on the wall right there, that's let's see, somewhere in here, yeah, it's underneath all that stuff. I have that. If you want to store your tool batteries, like this right here, you can mount these on the wall. You can see those little screw holes. So like underneath the shelf, your batteries will lock in here. So it really takes organization to the next level. And that's one thing that I struggle with, is figuring out how to organize, or taking the time for me to organize. And I really like seeing companies like this who make organization a no-brainer for people like me. So I can just take this, put a couple screws in, and then next thing you know, I have all types of places to put my batteries instead of them just kind of gathering. This is some intentional organization, which is awesome. And they, yeah, just like for my track saw, they have something that's new for this year where you can mount your rails or your tracks, depending on what you call them, on your wall or even on the ceiling on your trailer. These work really well for people, especially like with enclosed cargo trailers. So your question, Jeremy, I see he's asking, how much does it cost to buy them? They make a lot of different ones that they're kind of all over the place. They're very specialized. I'm not even sure like how many items they have. I'm really kind of new to them. So you'll have to, I'll put a link down below afterwards, or, I mean, you can Google it, or I'll put a link, you can check them out. But if you stay tuned, wait for my video to come out, you'll see where I'll use all these right here, somewhere around my shop, and you'll just see how useful they are and how much they cost. I'll provide all that. So I need to go back real quick. Zachary's, one of Echo's coming out with a new Echo gas powered backpack blower for 2026. I don't know. I mean, maybe 2025. There's Redmax now has claimed that they're the most powerful over the Echo 9010. So I'm not sure. I haven't seen a video of those two compared against each other to see which one is like king of the hill. But I know Echo really liked being right up there with their 9010, having the most powerful backpack blower. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see something maybe even this year. So I don't know anything. I don't have any inside information, but that is what I gather, what I've kind of heard other people say. So I guess you just have to be patient and see, maybe if they do launch something, it wouldn't be anytime right away. They do have a fall right before the Equip Expo. They're going to have a media day there. So, and I plan on being there. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. It would be cool to see something. I don't know what the model would be or if they will, but we'll just have to wait and see. Hey, Gary, welcome in. He says, do you have the automatic pruning shears? I do. They're, I was just organizing them the other day. Gary said you left us. Okay. Yeah, the pruning shears, those are awesome. One of the things when you're using them, they're so powerful. I mean, you can cut through like a 1-inch branch pretty quick. So when I'm using them, I am so careful. I don't like to listen to music. I like to just completely be focused on what I'm doing, because sometimes you're holding a branch and you have your hand right there. So they're powerful. They're fast. They are something that they're just amazing. So I definitely recommend them if you're thinking about it, but just be careful with it. Jeremy's asking, when's the mowing season start? For me, it'll be probably around the 20th of April, approximately. There's one year we had some really warm weather. It really destroyed like the cherry and apple crops because it warmed up so fast and then it got cold. And I think I was mowing, the earliest was probably like beginning of April, but for me, it's usually towards the end. How about you? When do you start? I'm just curious. Well, and while you're answering that, I'm going to go to this page right here. So on my channel, I have a few more videos from World of Concrete coming out. One is, like I mentioned, from Bosch. Another one is going to be just several different companies, some quick stuff, some of the like inside booths. There's a whole thing inside the halls. There's like a north, central, and south. It is huge in there, just so much to see. And I have a lot of different video clips that I need to organize. It's going to just take a little bit of time. So Jeremy says, wow, around March. Okay. That's, yeah, not too far from now. So the next live stream, I'm going to try to go every couple weeks. So we'll see how that goes. I haven't seen a lot of consistent tool news rolling out lately, but I would guess that now that we're out of the holiday season, we're going to see those tool companies ramping up with more things. So I'm trying to get some other tool news, like from DeWalt. I don't know how often they have stuff. Actually, Harbor Freight is another company that they seem to be releasing a lot of stuff. And I'd be curious to see like who, let me rephrase it, who here likes Harbor Freight the best, if I put that like their top tools. I know they're really making some big strides and gaining a lot of popularity. So I'd be curious to see what you guys think about that. One of the tools I have from them is their Daytona floor jack. Every so often they run some really good sales, and I bought mine on sale, and it was more money than I was really wanting to spend, but it is so worth it. It's just amazing. Every time I use it, I'm so glad that I bought it. It replaced an older Craftsman that I had from years ago that just gives me a lot of problems. Cole says, would you recommend the M12 shears to someone who would use them once or twice a year? If you're doing a lot at once, then it might pay for itself. I don't know the price of it offhand. I don't use mine all the time, but when I do, I'm like, wow, these things are just awesome. When it comes to like bypass manual hand pruners, Felco is a brand that I've heard a lot of the pros that are in the landscaping business, they really like the Felco brand. So maybe if you get it, depends, I guess, how much you want to spend, but I really like them. They're awesome. I think I'm more motivated to go out and do some tree pruning having those. I guess it's just probably more fun. It's because it's so fast. So hopefully that answers your question. Do I own the Milwaukee right angle die grinder? I do. Yeah. It's, I made a video on that showing, I was trying to find something around this time of the year, how to do a project with it. And I was using it to like sharpen all my tools, like the shovel and like a hoe and a spade, things like that, trying to get those things. I do have some automotive repair, like some rust coming up that I plan to use with that. And if you ever watch Shop Tool Reviews, he had a video showing some different pads that he bought for them, different grit. So I watched his video. I was very excited to see like these accessories he had, and I impulsively bought a bunch. I think I have them in this drawer right over here. So what I need to do, I'm planning on organizing one of my pack out boxes for the die grinder. But yeah, it's an awesome tool. I don't use it a lot, but when I do, I think once I organize it, I'm going to use it even more. It's a great tool. So yeah, that's about it. I don't have any other shows that are coming up right now. So the next one, Milwaukee Pipeline, will be this summer. So unless something else comes up, I'll just probably plan on going live with tool news or something else. So if I might try to get a guest as well too and talk about robotic mowers. I'll have to ask somebody who was on my channel before. He has the Yarbo as well too, and I thought we might consider doing some comparing our notes on what we've discovered on that. It's a pretty big investment. So robotic mowers, I think they're really just starting to make a big splash. So I'd like to get him on here sometime and talk and see what he says. Cole says, your thoughts on the M12 XC60 battery? If you use it, so that is the high output. You have 2, and it seems like lots of people were giving it a 2-star review. I have not had any problems. Yeah, the only battery that's really had a problem is, and they don't make it anymore, is their 9 amp hour. I can't remember if that was a high output or not. That was early on. I think it was a high output, and it just didn't do that well. I use the 6 quite often, like when I'm running just several different things. The Forge batteries, though, they're really I think the 80 Forge, that's going to be probably like people's go-to pretty soon. I think that might make a big splash with Milwaukee tool users. Jeremy's asking if I have any plans for tomorrow. Just working, and one thing I have one work area in my shop. Yeah, not the high output 6. Yeah, not this. For some reason I thought it was a high output. I don't have my batteries right handy here to look at them. But yeah, I use the 6 quite often, like especially like for long run time on like my pack out radio or my other radios. They really work really well. But my other saws, then I'll go to like the 12 amp hour high output. And now I have the Forge one. So that 8 Forge is probably going to be, like I said, my go-to. I'll use that first, but yeah, I have no problem with the 6. So yeah, one of my ongoing things I'm trying to organize my garage, and right now it's a little bit difficult because it's so cold out. I need to move stuff out so I have room to work inside here and then move it back in and reorganize it. But I do have another work area with a workbench like right over there that has some things a lot of clutter that is just kind of piled up over the holidays. So I need to go over there and work on it. So in my spare time, I'm going to be over there. How loud is the mini chainsaw? Where did I put it? Oh, down here. Hang on a second. Yeah, it's really not that loud. I mean, it's compared to a gas. It probably sounds a little bit loud through this microphone right here, but when you're using it out here, it's not that loud. So I don't think in my video, I didn't put a decibel meter on it. I didn't make the video yet. I could potentially do that or follow up with a YouTube short. So that's a good question. All right. Well, I think that about wraps up the live stream. I appreciate each and every one of you stopping by, asking questions and engaging. So hopefully this has been fun hanging out. I definitely had a good time. So I will see you guys soon and have a good night. Catch you later.